So, I'm a drummer, and I love Genshin Impact. So we've got our very first look at the new region coming up in version 5, Natlan. We got a little sneaky peeky at the music and the musical aspects and elements that they choose to go with. So anyways, yeah, I'm excited to see if we get a little teaser for music here and what the musical approach is. Because I have theories based on knowing, you know, Natlan and kind of the aesthetic theme that has been rumored for a while. So from a musical standpoint, I know which direction I would go. I'm going to be really curious to see which direction Hoyomix has chosen to go. Right off the rip. Okay, sick. So they're going with like the kind of like a how would we say this, like island jungly vibe feel. I don't know, that I'm not phrasing that very well, am I? Think about Donkey Kong soundtracks. That's kind of what I had in mind for Natlan, and immediately right off the rip, I couldn't tell you, is that a xylophone? It's probably like a specific type of xylophone style instrument. I don't know what it's actually called, but immediately we're just starting off with that, and they use that in Donkey Kong soundtracks a lot. I think specifically for like underwater tracks, I might be wrong there, but I've always loved that. So boom, right off the rip, that's got me fired up. Ooh. Look at these chunky boys. Let's watch this through once. We'll go back and kind of break down the musical elements a bit more. Dude, this is giving, especially if we get to like ride that thing or just control it, this is giving like big Donkey Kong vibes right now. Woo! So we got Donkey Kong and Yoshi in the same video. This is awesome. It's everything I ever wanted. Ooh! The electric guitar, look at that view. Wow-wee. Oh, man. Oh, is that it? Oh, God, I wish the video was longer. Okay, all right, so musically. Again, we don't have a lot to break down here. But I'm liking this, man. This is fun. All right, so from a percussive standpoint, this is cool because you've got I'm going to call it the xylophone. I'm certain that's not what it's actually called. You know, whatever it actually is. You got the xylophone. And with the xylophone usually comes like a lot of movement from like the viewpoint of percussion and counting. A lot of times you're hitting 8th and 16th notes, which means you're kind of like doubling down on the amount of notes, or, you know, doubling or quadrupling down on the amount of notes within a given measure. So you've got that here. If we're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, you're probably close to that tempo, right? Let's count, you know, how often we hear the xylophone being hit here, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5, and 6, and 7, and 8. So yeah, I think we're getting like 16ths, then you're getting like a 1, and 2, and 3, and then like a little pause. So yeah, damn near 16th notes. So what's cool about that, it opens up a lot of different possibilities for what you want to do with the actual like baseline percussion, you know, the traditional percussion, a drum kit, and maybe like a tambourine or something, you know, like a hand percussive instrument. So on the drums, it's super drawn back, right? And that's it. You don't have any extra hi-hats in there, at least not yet. Let's see what they add in, because I know they add in that electric guitar, which we'll talk about when it gets there. A little shaker, right? Yeah. Ooh. The island vibes are crazy right now with the shaker. I didn't realize that's what they threw in there. So whenever you go through like a percussive transition like that, there are a couple different options you can do. Most of the time what we hear, especially in the more like electronic heavy music, like what Hoyomix does with the Honkai soundtracks, you're going to hear a hi-hat will come in there. A lot of times it'll be a digital hi-hat, right? Like this drum beat we have happening right now, it's digital. But then that shaker comes in instead of the hi-hats. Just gives a really nice, smooth, flowing vibe. And that's why a lot of people opt for the shaker, because you get in the same, you know, they're essentially just playing 8th notes right there. but the way that a shaker, you know, what's inside of it, you know, the little beans in there, they bounce back and forth. So you have this constant motion. It's almost like a wave. If you could look inside of a shaker, if you ever played like a clear ones, I know that I have. If you ever seen someone playing clear ones, you can see the beads inside and how they literally just like move back and forth in a wave. Because that's a really common tool to use whenever making like, you know, jungle, Pacific, island themed music. It's super, super common to use there. And so it's really cool that they went with that approach as opposed to the more like streamlined electronic hi-hat, because they already have the electronic drum beat there. So opting to go for the shaker, perfect choice in my opinion. Just gives you a little bit of back and forth, right? So you get that guitar in there, and that guitar is following, obviously, you know, they're not gonna use like a single guitar pick and pick out 16th notes on it, but it's following a rhythmic pattern with the xylophone. You've got a couple little stops and starts, a couple little pauses in there, and that's really cool because the xylophone has been there the whole time. We're talking about like literally a minute straight of that xylophone from start to finish. That can get really old, and you lose the sense of contrast in a composition if you just play the same thing over and over and over again on a loop. You could say the same thing about the drum beat, right? It's that same beat that's been there the whole time. Literally, the only change that they made was after a couple measures, little transition, toss in that shaker. And that shaker being different from an electronic kick and snare, that adds a lot of contrast in and of itself from a sonic standpoint. Because even if you don't realize you're hearing acoustic instrumentation versus electric, like your body will recognize that and know like, ooh, that's different. That feels nice. And then the same thing with the electric guitar coming out of nowhere. That caught me so off guard the first time around. But it's so nice. It's just clean and it's funky. And if you listen, we've also got a slight change to the snare hits. They've got a clap coming in here as well, which again, just gradual changes, little small additions that make a big difference and keep the whole composition moving and flowing so your ears don't lose interest while your eyes are really going to be locked in on these cool visuals. And it looks like these new gameplay elements that they're showing us, just really, really smart, as usual, frankly. Right? That clap's new. That clap's new. Yeah, this is almost more like a cross stick right here, right? If we cut up here to where Yoshi comes in, I can't actually clap because it'll hurt my finger, but you know what I'm saying? Like, they got those claps in just a little more contrast, a little more dynamic. And that electric guitar, man, that's a blast. Whoa. So that's our short and sweet little Natlan preview. I'm so excited, man. I was hoping for like a nice little musical teaser because they gave us really nice teasers for Sumeru and Fontaine. Now, for a player like me, I started playing after Inazuma came out. It was actually version 2.7 or 2.6. I don't remember. Is the update where Ayato came out? That was 2.6 because then 2.7 had Yelan, my main character. Anyways, so I've only caught like, you know, these version trailers for Sumeru, Fontaine, and now Natlan, and it's really cool to hear and get like the little teasers for what we can expect as far as atmosphere and all that stuff goes. I'm super excited for it, gamers. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think down below. I check them all out. I'll see you in the next video. Love the games. Love yourself. And I love you. Bye.